It was a dark and stormy night is the first episode of the 7th season of Full House. This is directed by Tracy, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. It's a really great episode. It's one that I remembered really, really well from the first time I watched it. It's a lot of fun. There are two parts to the narrative. There's one main part involving camp, but one also involving Nikki and Alex. So I'll talk about that part of the story very briefly, and then I'll go in with the story about the camp. Nikki and Alex have got their brand new beds. They have their own little race car beds, and they want to sleep in the big bed. They don't care about their new beds. So Becky and Jessie spend time trying to get them to go to their beds, and they decide to pretend to fall asleep with Nikki and Alex in the race car beds, and then presumably once the boys are asleep they'd get up and leave, but they're so exhausted that they end up falling asleep themselves, and Nikki and Alex take this opportunity to go to the big bed themselves. And I don't know this for certain, but it might be the first time the boys actually acted and actually did something rather than just responding to something. There are times when they've interacted with the other characters, but I think this is probably one of the first times, if not the first time, where they've had to follow direction. And it's really sweet to see them growing up, and it was just absolutely adorable. So I think that was a nice way to show us that the boys are growing up a little bit. The main narrative focuses on camp, and we actually start off at camp. Everybody's there. DJ, Steve, Kimmy, Stephanie's there, and Denise and Michelle are there. I love Denise and Michelle, obviously brilliant. And then they have to leave. I love the t-shirts. They're wearing these yellow camp shirts, and they look really brilliant. And they go home. The adults are obviously excited they're back, but the girls just want to go and unpack and unwind and think about camp. And Danny's a little upset about this because he thought they would have family time. And they go upstairs, the girls go upstairs, and Michelle tells DJ and Stephanie to keep it down because Gilbert will be getting scared. Gilbert is a bunny. And it turns out this is a bunny they'd found in the wild. The bunny was injured and they nursed it back to health, and Michelle was supposed to let the bunny go, but she didn't do that. And quite quickly, Danny found the bunny. They absolutely could have taken this in a different direction. I'm not saying they should have done, but it would have been an interesting story if they tried to hide the bunny from Danny. That could have been quite chaotic and good fun, but that's not what they went with. We have a different message instead. The message isn't really don't take the bunny home. It's more so think about where your heart really is, because they all go off to camp again to release the bunny into the wild. And when they get there, Steve's car gets stuck and it's raining. His car is stuck in the mud. So Stephanie and Michelle stay indoors. It looks very different. It looks very bare. It kind of has the same feeling of when you take the Christmas decorations down after Christmas and the room just looks naked. It kind of had that feeling to it. It wasn't the same happy environment. And Stephanie and Michelle got really scared because at the start of the episode, Steve had told them a scary story about this mud monster, and then they think the mud monster's outside. It turns out it's Joey. Joey fell in the mud. He and Danny had driven up there. I don't know why it took two of them, maybe just for comfort or company and to make the ride more pleasant. But they both decided to drive up to the camp because Gilbert kind of ate his way out of the box before they even got there. Probably not the smartest thing to put the rabbit in the car and not even check that the rabbit is still inside the box. But nevertheless, this is what they did. So Danny very kindly brought the rabbit back up with Joey, and Joey fell in the mud. And it was good fun. And Danny helps them to realise that, and I think they could have gone with a different angle with this, and I think it could have been a little bit less depressing, because he explains it in a way by saying it's like when you go to the movie theatre and you watch a film or a movie and the film is over and the magic has gone. Saying the magic has gone is incredibly depressing. Danny didn't really need to explain it like that. I think it would have been more appropriate if he'd explained that the magic came from the people. And maybe that's what he was getting at, but he didn't do a good job of explaining it. The magic of camp is the fun you have with other people. It's not about the building. Yes, those memories are within those walls and within that location, but just being there at camp doesn't have the same magic because it's the people there that bring that magic and create that fun. So I think he could have done a much better and less depressing job of explaining that, but at least they finally realised that yes, camp was brilliant, but home is where the heart is. And we end the episode with a lot of fun. They have a brilliant family time. Joey sits on some s'mores, and Michelle, I forgot to mention this actually, but Michelle at the beginning asked Jesse to not call her his little munchkin anymore. She's called Trail Mix at camp, which is a brilliant nickname. And obviously Jesse was quite upset by this. And at the end of the episode, she asks him if he can call her his little munchkin again, which I thought was very sweet. And then we end with Joey being chased by Comet up the stairs as Comet wants to lick the s'mores off of his butt. And Joey yells over the banister or the railing that he's not having a good day, having fallen in the mud, sat on some s'mores, and now being chased by a dog who wants to lick the s'mores off of his butt. So, not a great day for Joey, but it is a great episode, a really fun way to start things off. I don't think Danny did a very sensible job. I think just saying, well, the magic's gone now, was a little bit cruel, to be honest, and also not very true, because just because a film is over, or camp is over, the magic hasn't gone. The magic is still in the memories. And I don't think he did a very kind job of describing it, but that aside, needless to say, it was a dark and stormy night. It's still a brilliant episode of Full House and a brilliant start to the 7th season.